See that? You see this right here? I might as well have a giant rainbow wig on the back of my seat because that's what this team is right now. It's a clown show. It's a clown show. Like, I could walk on the field right now and go, honk, honk, and they would be bigger clowns than me. And I'd be breaking the law by doing that. So, all humor aside, which it sounds incredibly dry coming from me right now with the tone of my voice, well, what else is new in Titanland? I'm going to say that almost every single week. What else is new? Who is surprised? Who is honestly surprised? I had the Titans losing this game because how can you trust this football team to play all 4 quarters good without any problems? And that's just not going to happen. It just doesn't happen. You can't play a complete game. We can't even play a complete quarter without stupid stuff happening every single time. And honestly, for the players, I'm not even going to discuss the players very much. I'm not going to put blame on them right now. I'm not going to put blame on, I don't know, whoever else. This coach, I guess you got to blame the coaching staff, the whole coaching staff, because we're talking about Brian Callahan for the majority of this video. But the players, you know what? Forget the players for a moment. Forget them for a moment. Brian Callahan, I'm out. I'm done. Sorry. Brian Callahan needs to go. Obviously, they're not going to fire him now. They're not going to fire him probably for another couple weeks. You got to at least play the politics game of employing someone in the NFL, even when they're bad, because if you fire someone too early, that also could, send a negative message that you don't want to send. And that's what having this situation, this is why it sucks so bad, is because you have to go about it the right way. And going about it the right way is so hard to do when everybody right now has got you under a microscope. Everybody's angry. Nobody's happy. Things aren't going well. And all it does is just make that process that much more difficult. But Brian Callahan, I'm done. This week, this game, the worst I have ever seen Brian Callahan. He is legitimately worse from last year. He's worse. He's objectively worse. Did you see all the bull crap he tried to pull in this game with not choosing to defer at the coin toss? That one, I'm not going to fully bash Callahan for. Yeah, you're supposed to defer more often than not. I get why he probably wanted to start with the ball. But you know what? The Titans aren't good enough to be able to start with the ball, start on offense, and go out and get points. We're not good enough for that. So stop trying to put our guys out of position to succeed with something that you know that they cannot manage. And that's a problem, and they can't manage that. That's an issue. But then right before halftime, going to kick a field goal, missed it. And then Colts get a kick, miss it. Titans go out for a second 60-plus yard field goal. Colts call timeout. Titans call a timeout because they're not ready to go, which, how the heck are you not ready to go and you don't have your mind made up? What is going on here? And then to get the delay of game, I get they were trying to make excuse me. They were trying to make an argument with, the K-ball, and they weren't bringing it out, and there was a miscommunication there. But regardless, calling a timeout right there because you're not ready and then getting a delay of game for any reason is unacceptable. And then you end up getting the Colts points anyways. And the usual suspects come right back. Penalties, self-inflicted wounds, cowardly play calling, especially right there. 2.5 minutes to go right before halftime. What are we doing? We're just running the ball. We're just run. And one thing that's spoke out to me throughout these first 3 weeks is the announcers in every single game these first 3 weeks have said something about Brian Callahan doing something weird, saying, why is Brian Callahan doing this? Why are the Titans doing this? In this game, why are the Titans calling a timeout here? Why are the Titans in the third quarter taking almost 10 minutes on a drive, acting like they're up by 3 scores when they're down by 3 scores and need to move the ball quickly? And then it's just so stupid. It's so stupid. We're looking at the same dang mistakes being made over and over again. And you know what that is? That is 100% coaching. Don't let anybody tell you anything else. It is 100% coaching. as to why all these mistakes are being made, why the Titans look how they look. They look lost. They look unprepared. They're not lining up right. And heck, every single time something good happens for the Titans, what happens? Penalty. Oh, we get a first down? Penalty. Oh, big play down the field? Penalty. Oh, third down, have a chance to get off the field and punt? Penalty. Give the defense a first down. Every 5 snaps, it felt like when there was a flag, it was just going to the Titans. It was going there every single time. I'm not sitting here to tell you, oh, the refs were coming after the Titans. No, they were not. No, the Titans, all those penalties, they just did to themselves. It was all on themselves. And for Brian Callahan, this is unacceptable. I'm done. Fans are done. Literally, fans are chanting, "Fire Callahan! Fire Callahan!" right before halftime, and then as the players are going to the locker room, Brian Callahan shows up, and the whole stadium just starts going, boo! They went to their diaphragm for this crap. They took a deep, big breath, as big as they could get, and just screamed it at the top of their lungs. And you know what? For the fans that managed to stay through that, you know what? You got a lot more heart than me, because I probably would have left. I would have spent the hundreds of dollars to go to that game and then would have ended up leaving, because this is a disgrace. This is unacceptable. And at this point, the Titans are just as lost as a franchise as they were last year. And now we'll talk about the players a little bit, because some people might say, hey, we're not completely lost. We have Cam Ward. Fine, cool. We have our franchise quarterback. Guess what we don't have? We don't have a competent front office. We don't have a competent head coach. You need all three pillars to work. And then guess what? Which one is the most fragile? The quarterback. Because if you do not have a good front office or a good coach, guess what? That pillar that's trying to support everything else, the quarterback, is gonna fall down. And what happens every single time a head coach gets fired when you draft a young quarterback? Almost every single time, this quarterback will fail. That is not me saying Cam Ward will fail. I'm just stating the facts. That if your head coach is fired when you're a rookie quarterback, your odds of succeeding in the NFL, statistically speaking, plummet. They go through the floor. They go lower than the concrete that my truck stands on right now as I'm in this driveway recording this. I mean, the math speaks for itself. This is not the situation you're supposed to develop a young quarterback in. And honestly, the fact that we're 3 weeks in and it looks this bad, and then the Titans openly considered firing Brian Callahan. That was a real article that came out before the season started. The fact that they considered it, and Brian Callahan is just as bad, actually worse. This front office has not proven that they're no longer an incompetent front office yet. I don't care if it's Mike Borgonzi. I don't care if it's Chad Brinker. Guess what? They still made the choice to keep Brian Callahan, and look at where he's going right now. That is on them. That is on them. And for the team losing and for the same mistakes, that is Brian Callahan. Nothing is going right. The only 4 positives. There's only 4 positives you can look at throughout the entire year so far through 3 games. Cam Ward continuing to make plays, had a terrible pick 6 to start the game. Awful. That's on Cam. But you know what? He's a rookie. He's going to make those mistakes. That's going to happen. You know what? I'm not going to blame the quarterback, especially because the 2 plays before were not good enough at all and were terrible calls by Callahan anyways. So, I mean, I'm really not going to blame Cam Ward here 100%. Did he play great? No, but you know what? He made plays. On 4th down, threw a touchdown to Alec Iomaner, who's the second positive, continuing to make splash plays here and there. Obviously, he's still a rookie as well, but he's doing more than any 4th-round pick we've had in a long time. So you know what? I'm going to take that as a positive. And then Jim DK, not as great of a game for him in the return game, but you know what? He's still solid. He was still solid in this game. He wasn't playing a contributing role into them losing this game at all. So you know what? I'm not going to blame Jim DK. And then if you want the 4th positive, weirdly enough, every single game the Titans have scored more points on offense. That's really weird. What did we score? 12 points in week 1, 19 in week 2, and then we dropped 20 in week 3. There we go, guys. We scored more points than last week. No, I think it was 24 points that we scored this week. But either way, doesn't matter. Still lost. But the defense, although I will say this in the same breath, has allowed more points every week as well. So take that for what you will. But there is 4 positives if you want to look at anything. Everything else is straight dog water in the garbage. It's all bad. And quite frankly, I got nothing left to say. Fire Brian Callahan. He needs to go. Fans, please don't show up to games. I don't ever want to do that. Let's call for that. But you know what? Brian Callahan's got to get fired sooner or later. He has proven he's not the guy. The sooner, the better, even if I don't think it's going to happen in a few more weeks. But we'll have to see. We'll see what happens. Time up, everybody. Bye-bye.